very good morning to you, and you're welcome to the studio. This morning, of course, the Koleams at the studio at Akidibo 88.7 FM, Ibadan. My name is Wuraula Yusuf, and yes, this is to saying it's the beginning of the weekend, the last lap of the program this morning. All right, you know how we do it. I shall be starting with the front page of our daily newspapers. My name is Wuraula Yusuf. On the front page of the Punch newspaper today, on page 2, Tinubu rallies NSA monarchs as hunger protest looms. To write us to the story, the first one says the president meets APC governors. Oni, Sultan, clerics as planned protest gains momentum. And the second one says opposition charges Tinubu to address Nigerians. Army DSS alleged plots to force regime change. All right, President, governors mourn as Ohanese leader Wanyawu dies. Page 17 of the Punch newspaper has details of that story. A National Assembly summons NNPC Dangote over $10 billion oil theft. Page 23 of the Punch newspaper has details of that story. All right, this one says factional kingmakers oppose a fresh Alafin selection process. Page 42 has details of that story, and surely we'll be discussing it today. Lagos begins probe as 5 killed in building collapse. Page 4 and 5. 16 more state-owned schools get student loan approval. Page 43 of the Punch newspaper. On the front page of the Guardian newspaper, TUC insists on a May 1, 2024 date for new minimum wage. That story is on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. All right, Tinubu, Igbo Nation, others mourn the demise of Wanyawu at 82. Yes, we have this one coming from the military over the planned protest. Military ones are against violence as DSS reviews a plot to cause chaos. On the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, we have this one coming from Mr. President himself saying, no government will condone destruction of lives, property. And we also have President talking on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper saying that I engaged in protest, but without violence. Page 4 has details to that story. Seems quite interesting, something people will be looking forward to reading. The 3 writers to that story. The first one says the federal government, governors intensify effort to stop August 1 demonstration. President meets monarchs, religious leaders, and also DSS warns against anarchy. This one story says Muslim groups want to film using hijab in armed robbery scene banned. All right, so the stories alongside others are what we have to discuss this morning with, of course, a Maestro in the studio. Good morning, Maestro. Welcome.
Good morning.
How's been the week?
We thank God for His mercies.
As always.
Always.
All right, then. Where we'll be starting from again this morning. That is concerning the issue of the protest. And we've seen so many angles, and we've been discussing that since the beginning of the week. Yesterday again, we had traditional rulers and still other people, governors, in the meeting just because of this planned protest. But something caught my attention. This one is from the opposition party, charging Mr. President to address Nigerians himself and let us know what is going to happen from there. Because I think if we look at it clearly, for the past few days, we've been seeing people talking on behalf of the governor and also different, on behalf of the president, and also different groups warning people, saying they are pulling out and all that, and also trying to tell people that, come, if this thing goes on, there are people already that are planning to hijack the protest. We even had DSS say that yesterday. But opposition is saying Mr. President himself should come and address Nigerians. And let's see where we go from then. What do you think about this?
Well, you see, I have a position on what politicians are doing or are saying to one another. So, and that position is very firm. Most of the things I say on this program and elsewhere on other platforms, they are based on principles. They are not whimsical. So my principle about politicians engaging one another is not to find an oasis for me or a comfortable place for me, or backing this one against that one. It's none of my business what the PDP tells the APC and so on and so forth. And I don't think it should be our business, truly. I think it should be the business of the politicians who gain massively from engaging one another. The two of them, the opposition and so on, they have been on different sides at different times. Whoever is in PDP today was probably in APC yesterday. I was in APGA the day before, and so on and so forth. So they mix around, and I don't see why I should bother myself so much about what PDP is telling APC or what APC is telling PDP. However, the more important thing is to gain an insight into this thing that is called nationwide protest. And sincerely, at this point, what I believe is that people should be allowed to go and protest. If the people who want to protest should protest, and I've been saying this forever, anybody who wants to protest should go ahead and protest. Now, those who don't want to protest should not be forced or intimidated or done anything to. If some people don't want to protest, they should be, because it's the same right. You understand? The right that somebody has to protest should not be, denied. And that's what I see, that people are in some kind of, spirited moves to stave off. And I don't believe it should be like that. I think people, as a matter of fact, if people are building protests and you don't allow them to protest, it's like, you're building up something combustible set system, and it's still going to happen one way or the other. As a matter of fact, I suspect strongly it will happen, and it will be some kind of anticlimax. That's the way I see this protest coming.
With the tension that is built around it.
I don't see it's going to be an anticlimax at the end of the day. I've seen way too many protests to be fooled by anything. And but you see, more importantly is the right of people to protest, which is guaranteed by the Constitution. So people in office should abide by the law. Now, if you have a way of appealing to people's sentiments to not protest, maybe. But if it does not work, people should be allowed to protest with a strong warning against violence, because that is when all bets are off. I do not know of any government in the world that would allow, people to be molested, for economic activities to be shackled, for properties to be destroyed.
Because people are already panic buying in case things go south.
It doesn't really matter. That's what we do. Have you seen us queuing at filling stations before? For nothing. So we are just like that. But for whatever it is going to be, it should happen. Because certainly some people desire it, while some people don't. So, and the rights of both should be established, not denied.
All right. Mr. President himself said, and quote, during the military era, we made our voices heard against dictatorship, and I was part of the group that engaged in peaceful protest without resorting to the destruction of property. We have worked hard to ensure 25 years of unbroken democracy, and I will continue to maintain this democracy. That was what he assured. He said, as much as we know that demonstrations are part of democracy, we will never encourage any protest that leads to the destruction of lives and property, because I think quite a lot of comments from people has been the fact that he protested too, was part of a protest too. Why is it now we're seeing? And that is Mr. President.
It's because we have a way of turning things upside down. People have, I told you, this is the place of protest, this Southwest. This is the place of protest. And interestingly, Southwest people don't go elsewhere to go and protest. We make this place our protest ground. And I think others are sharing that with us. Now, when the president and some other people went to protest, they were playing their political games.
Mm.
You understand? The first protest, yes, it was a major one, and he was even, standing in the front line.
Yes.
He was among other giants. That's the Nadeko, period. The other ones, when we now had, civilian regime settled after the blood of martyrs, after the suffering of a lot of people during the Nadeko struggle, because that's what nailed military and sent them back to the barracks. So after that one, they started their politics. So he participated in this march past and so on, which was designed towards bringing his political party to power. You understand?
Yes.
It was designed towards bringing his own political party to power. That's a political game. And he was able to get it done. Now, the game that, on the other hand, we're supposed to believe now, this one is a game of life because of hunger stalking the streets of Nigeria. It's a different thing. But we sometimes find a way of mixing this thing, which was why I said what politicians do to one another is not, what catches my interest most. But on this other hand, we have a lot of people who are going through tremendous hardship at this point. And this kind of protests that the people who are organizing it, whoever they are saying, okay, this one is about hunger. But if you go and look at the list, have you seen the list?
The list of their demands?
Yes. I don't know if you have seen all the lists, because you should see it. You should see at least one major list, should have come to your notice so that you know what the demands are. And somehow, somebody is cutting to the chase. When they had a protest at Ojota, it was dedicated to ensuring that subsidy was not removed. As against the intention of that administration of Goodluck Jonathan, who wanted to remove subsidy at that point. And that was the sensible thing to do at that time. You see what I'm saying about political games? Now they have come full circle to remove that same subsidy that they stopped from happening. If it had happened during the Jonathan administration, we probably would have fared much better off than this.
You think?
I'm sure. It's not about thinking. I'm so sure, because we had a lot of cushion that time. The economy wasn't this bad. And the woman, Okonjo-Iweala, was screaming at the top of her voice, and the politicians, including the president, the current president, said no. Now, we have turned around now, come full circle, and we remove subsidy now. At a period when the economy could not, absorb the shock so much. But it was necessary. And it's always good to remove that subsidy, but that's another matter entirely. So some people agree with that, some people don't. And most of us, in truth, don't even understand what it is.
But it is about how we are feeling.
That's all. That's all. The emotions is, and you hear somebody who appears to be sensible saying it shouldn't have been removed. You latch onto it because it's convenient. But like I said, it's another matter entirely. I'm separating this protest from one another. Because again, we must say this. People don't appear to understand what, this program is about. It's not about being on the side of anybody. This is called analysis. So when you are analyzing, you are piecing things, you are taking things to pieces and explaining the components. So it's not about, I have to come and be shouting how the people are feeling on the program, or I have to be stating how the high and mighty are feeling. That's not what the program, sets out to achieve. This is about understanding further, a little bit further, any item that pops up on the program.
All right. The DSS, which is the Department of State Services, known that is charged with detection and prevention of crimes and threats against internal security in Nigeria. They have come out to say they had already identified the sponsors of the planned protest, and then they warned them not to proceed with it as it is not in the nation's interests. Also, we have the defense headquarters also given a stern warning yesterday, saying that the protest should not be embarked on because it could be hijacked by violent elements, according to their intelligence report. It seems almost everyone has intelligence reports that this thing is going to be hijacked.
Well, one thing about the state is, the state always has an agency that is dedicated to the state to ensure that the state is not shaking. That's the DSS. And some other ones that we don't often hear their names. And so that's the role they are always going to play, to ensure that it doesn't happen, and if it happens, to ensure that it is quelled. And they are going to tell you the truth. They are also going to lie to you and tell you half truth, half lies. That's what they do. That okay, we have recognized some people who are planning this, and they might not even know anybody. I'm telling you, that's how it goes. But then again, they might have solid information on, some people doing some things because they are in a position. They have resources to listen in, to observe, to do a lot of things and gather intel on, where you and I cannot even begin to. So you don't, but what you don't know is, in my experience, when they are telling the truth about what they have discovered or when they are not telling you the truth. That's one. But let us, you and I, look at what we have seen. So immediately after the elections, we saw the tape that was played on air that, one former head of state and one entertainer were talking on phone that, look, you have to make it a massive protest. You can't do it alone. You have to contact so person. And so when it starts, make sure it's big enough. So if they've gone to one or two youths down, then the world will take notice and so on. That's not going to go away. Would it go away? It will not go away. But when a little bit of that conversation was released by security, I'm sure it's security operatives who released that. When they released that, everybody calmed down.
All right. Before we talk further on the security and also talking about the defense headquarters and also these security agencies, let's go pay some bills when we're back. We'll pick it up from there and also go to the part of the TUC saying they are not part of the protest. We'll be back.
88.7 FM.
ilé ìtajà fóònù kan bẹ́ẹ̀ bàdàn Ishola gadget ní jẹ́. ọmọ tán sọ tán tọrọ bá di kata ojúlówó àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìpè ìfóníbàárà ẹni láì ní mọ̀kàrúrù kankan nú. àwọn tó ti já sí tẹ́lẹ̀ òní bòmíì tí wọ́n ti ra ẹ̀rọ fóònù ju Ishola gadget lọ. ṣé ojúlówó fóònù tí wọ́n ń tà ní kásọ ni àbí tẹ̀rín tọ̀yàyà táwọn òṣìṣẹ́ wọn fi ń dóníbàárà lóhùn. tó ń tàwọn ẹ̀bùn àmúrelé lẹ́yìn tó bá ra fóònù tán. pẹ̀lú èrè dískáǹtì rẹpẹtẹ lórí ọjà tó bá rà tó ń ta àǹfààní san díẹ̀díẹ̀ tí ò lẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́. Ishola gadget káàkiri ilé ìtajà wọn ló ti lè rí àwọn fóònù tó bá gbà mú bíi Samsung, iPhone, Tecno, Itel, Infinix, Oppo pẹ̀lú phone accessories lówó tí ò gún pa. àǹtí bọ̀dá sista bàbá màmá ó yá wá lọ rèé mú fóònù tìrẹ ní Ishola gadget tó wà lẹ́yìn Lagos Ìkòròdú garage Àbáyọ̀mí road Ìbàdàn. Ishola gadget tún wà ní Ọmọlá plaza bàbá onílù bus stop Ìwó road Ìbàdàn. ẹ̀lọ́ wọn 07068989929. Ishola gadget nìkan ló ti lè ra fóònù tó bá gbà mú pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn.
gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláboyún ó ṣe pàtàkì kí n tọ́jú ara mi kí n sì wà ní ìlera pípé.
kí ìwọ àtoyún inú ẹ lè wà ní ìlera tó péye máa lo oògùn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ní áyọ̀nù nínú àti folic acid lójoojúmọ́ lákòókò tó bá lóyún. eléyìí ń dènà àìtó ẹ̀jẹ̀ nínú oyún yóò sì jẹ́ kóyún wà lálàáfíà. fún ìlera pípé ẹ máa yọjú sí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ìlera yín fún ìtọ́jú oyún nígbà tó yẹ.
ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣe iṣẹ́ irin iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
iṣẹ́ àdìyẹ
tàbí umura iléeṣẹ́ Algaza.
bọ́dún ṣe ń gorí ọdún là ń dúpẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza travels and tours alhamdulilayi kẹsíra ọpẹ́ olórí àdáàdá tán o fọba tó tún fi ṣe àjọ ọdún yìí pọ́n wálé iṣẹ́ hajj ti wá yàtọ̀ sí ti tẹ́lẹ̀ ó kò sùn méjì tá a lọ ṣiṣẹ́ hajj níjọba alẹ́ Saudi ti fẹ́ kéèyàn onífísẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ kó ti mọ ibi tí ó gbé kí gbogbo ètò sì ti tò fún gbogbo àwa tá ń jẹ̀ràn kan láti ṣe hajj táwọn wò lọ́ọ̀kan ìtọ́dún 2025 ẹ̀yin náà tètè tara ṣàṣà kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ bọ̀ sílé iṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza travels and tours èèyàn dọ́ta àkọ́kọ́ 50 tó bá wá sílé iṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza travels and tours láti forúkọ sílẹ̀ fúnṣẹ́ àjọ̀dún 2025 owó wọn á dín sí àwọn yòókù ṣètọ́jú àwọn èèyàn wa ní ká sọ ni àbílẹ̀ tí ń gbé ní Madina àti Mẹ́kà tí ò jìnnà rárá síbi tí wọ́n ti ṣiṣẹ́ owó wa ló kéré jù a wà nílé gbàgàdàgbàgàdà tó wà lórí títì tá a pè ní Algaza building lákọ̀ọ́kà bus stop nítòsí ọlọ́ọ̀gùn bus stop Old Ife road nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn 07032128882 07032128882.
Own a slice of a bank. Own a slice of a bank.
Subscribe for a share with Fidelity Bank.
$9.75 kobo.
Ọmọ shareholders partake in this offer.
$9.25 kobo. Buy now, partake in this offer. Join us, let's journey together.
No sleep on top this matter.
You know that we keep our word. Fidelity Bank public offer. Let's make the move together. Come join the community. Own a slice of a bank. Yeah. Fidelity Bank public offer. Invest the plan your life, yeah. Come join the community. Own a slice of a bank. Yeah.
To subscribe, visit any registered stockbroker or any of the issuing houses to the offer or any Fidelity Bank branch. Offer lasts till July 29th, 2024. We are Fidelity. We keep our word.
My son, help me check this phone. I don't know wetin Junior press. E no dey work again.
Make I see. Ah, mommy.
Wetin happen?
They don't block your line now.
Nobody like to chop blocking o. So if they don't block you unto say you not link your NIN to your Airtel line, run kitikiti go any Airtel shop with your NIN to unblock your line today.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Guys, let's go and get seats at that table with Semovita.
Sorry, this table is reserved for the bride's family.
Do you know who I am? I'm the older brother of the sister's last uncle who married their first cousin.
Everybody wants a seat at the Golden Penny Semovita table. Golden Penny Semovita remains my soup's first choice. It's made from premium wheat and fortified with vitamins and minerals to provide a wholesome bowl food that pairs well with Nigerian soups. Golden Penny Semovita, my soup's first choice.
OGIDI 88.7
All right, you're welcome back. In case you're just joining us, do not forget that you can go straight to our Facebook page at OGIDI 887 FM to watch us live. According to the DSS, Maestro, they said the plotters desire to use the intended violent outcome to smear the federal and sub-national government, make them unpopular, and pit them against the masses. The long-term objective is to achieve a regime change, especially at the center. They continue to say that the service has also identified, among others, the funding lines, the sponsors, and collaborators of the plot. However, he does not think that aggression should be the first line of action in the instance of handling this scenario, the emergent scenario. They have instead variously applied non-kinetic and conflict resolution strategies, including moral suasion, stakeholder engagement, and other multi-track diplomatic shuttles to dissuade the planners from actualizing their undesirable objectives. So that is more details on what they said concerning the fact that they have intel on who the sponsors are, the people behind the protest itself. So it seems they are handling things behind doors.
I don't know. I've told you that this is the way
they do.
The Secret Service behaves. You don't know what they have, how much they have, if it is true they have or not. They keep you, guessing. But they have. What is sure is they have, awesome resources at gathering intel. And I just told you about what appears to be a former head of state and an entertainer having that exchange that they leaked out for our benefit And I'm wondering if that will go away, if people are so fired up to the point of wanting to effect a regime change so early after an election. Would they give it up? Have they given it up? Or did they just lie low for a while and then perfect the plan further? That's number one. Number two, which you might also want to look at, is this man who sits in the comfort of Finland and is saying anyone who wants to get weaponized in the struggle, they will supply weapons. And they are the ones who appear to be snuffing lives out of people in the southeast if you go out on Monday when they instruct from Finland that you should sit at home and you don't sit at home. We've seen a lot of casualties. We've seen a lot of fatalities. So there's no state that is going to, close its eyes to these things. And these are the ones that are playing out in front of us, ordinary people.
A second.
It's 7 a.m. on Agidigbo 88.7 FM.
So these are the ones that are playing out in front of us. We did not go to dig it out. Apart from the ones we're also seeing, on sundry media that, how they are openly, preparing for whatever it is that their demands are. Some of them pretty spurious. So at the end of the day, you see that everywhere you turn, it's not really about the hunger. Most of the people who appear to be, at the forefront of this, it doesn't appear to me to be hunger of the poor people. It appears to be much more than that. And so I believe that the state will probably do what it has to do. But that's why I said people who are prepared to protest, those are the ones who should be allowed to protest, and even if possible protected, and prevent infiltrators from penetrating their midst. We've seen it before. We've seen in this country before where the police was supplying protesters with water. We've seen that before. So we can do it again and allow people who want to protest peacefully to protest in places where they will not clash with people who don't want to protest. Because we have a big enough space in this country, you can protest towards the right, while those who don't want you to protest around them are in the left. If you go and protest where a lot of people are also saying no, then you're looking for a confrontation.
Such as the FCT.
You're looking for a confrontation if a lot of people are saying don't come here to protest. Then I think you should protest elsewhere. Because, that's what I said about equal rights.
Wait, Maestro, what if a lot of people that are saying do not come here to protest are the leaders? For example, we have the Federal Capital Territory ministers saying that do not come here. FCT is unavailable for protest. So what if the people in the FCT wants to protest?
I don't know if it is the business of people in public office to be saying no.
That.
But I understand that the indigenes, I don't know how many they are, of FCT have been saying don't come here. We don't want any kind of protest here. Why some people are saying we will protest there. So what you want to do as responsible people is to weigh your chances of not encountering conflict, because you don't want conflict. So if they are saying maybe you protest in Nasarawa and carry on your protest there, if you feel that the threat is thick enough. If you go to Lagos and the people are saying they want to do Oro, they want to do Oro, you want to weigh it. What I'm saying is, if I'm leading, I would weigh my options. If I could do it somewhere in maybe towards Ogijo or something,
where there will not be Oro,
I will do whatever I have to do there, and then you don't, because you see, this is where it is bad. If you don't weigh it very well, and you go to an area where you have conflict, then you've given the state the opportunity to penetrate. In the name of quelling riot, they will go after you.
For security
you are the
purposes.
ones they will go after because they know those who are saying they don't want it already. And they will say, well, we were trying to ensure that the conflict was doused. So that's why I'm saying people have to be responsible as leaders, of the protest, though we don't know them.
And that's what TUC is saying. TUC said that they are not a part of the planned national protest over hardship and hunger. And in their words, they said, the question is, who is protesting? So the same way people are seeing it are the same way they are saying it. But it is something they don't know. What they really do not know is who is organizing. So
yes, and that's one of the things that Mr. Falano SAN was saying yesterday. That look, I can't be part of what I don't know who are the people. I don't want to be a part of this because I don't even know what it's about. I don't know who the people, and you have to be able to know if you are going to, fly with some birds. It should be, the ones that you are comfortable with, and the same thing with, and I've said this from the beginning, haven't I? That you need to know who, and that's the nature of protests in this place. This one is strange that you want me to come out, and I don't know. That's the first thing. The other thing is when I know you, and we are talking about we want to go and protest because things are tight, then we will resolve on what we want to protest about. How many items do we want to put on our list? So it is when we are now aligned like that I can say, okay, let's go. Or, well, we have irreconcilable differences. I can't follow you. These people are not given the chance to even do all that. It's just that, oh, you are hungry. We are going to protest. That's all.
No alignment.
That's why it is not going to be, a key event. It's quickly going to fizzle because it's not tight enough. We have seen, and let me tell you something. Some people might be fooled that some protests are spontaneous. It happens. Let me tell you the kind of protests that will ever happen like that. If you're driving a police vehicle or FRSC or something, God forbid, and you hit somebody and the person, dies or gets injured, there are areas where they will not allow you to go scot-free. And you might see a protest immediately, afterwards, or violent reaction. You see all these other ones, they are always planned. And some people have the impression they're always planned.
Like the case of the UK, not planned. As a result of what happened.
You saw that. It just happened, and, that's irate. People becoming irate that how could this be happening? And then, but the nurses, the health workers in UK want to you organize it. You organize it. Politicians want to do, they organize it. So it's always organized, and it has to be properly organized before you launch it. Otherwise, it won't go far. Now look at the greater implication. Let me share the greater implication with you. When you do all these things, we have been hearing this now for several months, and you now do it, and it fizzles out, and there is no gain at the end of the day because it wasn't tightly organized and so on. What do you suppose will happen? It will be a very long time before people will summon enough energy and encouragement again to ever protest. That is why things are not left to people who are not competent enough or intelligent enough to do those things, because it's going to cost people who are not even interested right now. All of us, when the time comes that we should actually launch a key protest and get together, people will have been disappointed, deflated, and so on.
Maestro, do you think the NSAS protest, as massive as it was, do you think it achieved anything?
It wasn't massive.
It wasn't? You think it wasn't?
It wasn't massive. It wasn't massive. They occupied a small place around, but it was shared around the country. So when you, I don't know what you're calling massive. It
and
was
not just in the States.
It was a major protest. But massive.
Okay. Now you're talking about the maybe how it went, the effect.
No, let me just go to your question, because what we might be exchanging might be a matter of semantics. So it might not, but I know it was a key event. And what did it achieve?
Exactly. What did it achieve?
Some people died.
Hmm.
Some people died.
That was the only thing that was achieved. The effect, what they are trying on
Till
the government.
tomorrow, don't forget that it's NSAS meant what? Police brutality.
And police brutality.
Did it end? Has it ended? Has it ended? That's why I say...
Was that because the protest wasn't organized, well organized?
No, I don't think you could end police brutality by protesting for ending police brutality. I think you should protest, and work at something else that will bring that about.
Like what?
Like restructuring. Like state police. That's what I've been saying forever. But people have different intentions. That's a different agenda which they could sell to people who otherwise mean very well. But what they actually want to achieve is different. And I will tell you, the NSAS, the entire protest at the end of the day, was packaged and made a political gift for one of the frontline, isn't it? Gifted to somebody who never protested one moment in his lifetime.
Before?
He never, up till now, there's no protest that he has ever engaged
The NSAS?
He wasn't there. He didn't even give one line for NSAS because it's not in his nature to do all those things. And I've always said it, all these people are billionaires. So you cannot be selling a billionaire to me, as some kind of revolutionary when he hasn't transformed. Look, Abiola was a billionaire and he transformed right before our eyes. He absolutely transformed from a very soft, comfortable and protected life to a revolutionary. And he was saying no till the very end. It was painful, but that's the true story. So if you want me to start considering you a billionaire as a revolutionary, then you have to transform. I'm not going to gift you. People will go and protest and die and everything, and I will roll that into a political gift for you. I won't do that.
All right then. Okay, let us come down to another story coming from the Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, saying that things have changed in Nigeria for the better. Nigeria has records the fastest economic growth ever in the midst of all of this that we are talking about. And one of the points he made was the fact that there is a decline in Nigeria's total debt. Both domestic and foreign dollar denominated debt fell from $181 million to $98 million, which is attributed to timely payment to contractors and the government's exit from the Ways and Means financing scheme. One of the other things he also said is the fact that it is about time that we started enjoying the fruits of our labor, and that is the labor concerning the benefits of the reforms that has been happening since this administration came into office. Just give us a little time.
Well, the truth is, he is talking about what they are doing in there. It has not reflected in people's pockets, in people's bellies, in people's lives. So that's where the departure is. And until it starts reflecting like that, we are not going to start counting it as, that the dividends are already. He is the one who's seen all those things. To the hungry man, you are just counting figures. It's just empty figures. But when we now see the difference,
when we feel it,
that is when people are going to say you are doing anything. So, I don't know. When they go to all these events, they go with the right speeches. They go with, it's just like you're dressing up for an event, you're wearing the right kind of cloth to such events, and they are compelled, to say those things when they get there. But it's a different reality with the people on the streets of this country. And the truth is that they are much more comfortable. And so it's easy to say these things. They are comfortable, their wives are comfortable, the children are, they are comfortable. Everybody is comfortable. So it it's very, very difficult to reconcile such people making pronouncements that things are better. And this is what sometimes gets people really angry. I also have problem with the choice of words. You see, communication is super important. The moment you say things are getting better, you know, the man whose life is actually getting worse, you are now standing at two different poles, absolutely. Even if he likes you from here to kingdom come, you are insulting his intelligence right then, there and then, because it's a different reality, you know, in his life. And this is what I always say about people communicating. You cannot say things are getting better if we have not seen it, if we have not felt it. That belongs to a different kind of elitist conversation where you can be exchanging statistics on a table. Okay, show me. Oh, this is 90-something billion. This, oh, your forex has improved. It's a different kind of conversation. And I've always said that.
All right, Maestro, I have a question. And the question is, do you think Nigerians expected too much from this administration before it came into office, especially from Mr. President?
I don't suppose it's about expecting too much. You see, Nigerians generally were very resilient. And I know for as long as I've been, you know, conscious in this country that Nigerians don't expect so much from any government. That is why it is always very terrible when, you know, people are shortchanged. And we have been shortchanged right through time. There is no administration in this country that has not shortchanged Nigerians because corruption has always been constant. Now, Nigerians are so resilient that if you fail in terms of education, Nigerians will go and create private education system for their children and wards. If you fail in terms of water supply, we will dig boreholes and dig wells. If you fail in terms of security, we will form ourselves into vigilante groups. We will pay for security. We will do a lot of things to secure.
We know how to take it all in, how to handle it.
We always find our way. So what it does then is we have grown a very, very lazy and greedy political class who will look at us and say they will take care of themselves.
They will take it anyways.
And the kind of the sum that they should be spending on making lives easier for the people, it goes into their, you know, sleaze accounts. And so that's the key problem. We don't expect so much from them. We just want a little. And that little is even never done. And that's why people get angry. You know, that even this little, I mean, I've taken like my ward to my child to school. I'm paying private. Like, I went to public schools before I started doing, you know, private school. I went to public schools and they were good.
Back then.
They were damn good. You can see how I turned out. I mean, I don't speak horrible English. I don't. And I could string my sentences together.
Very well.
I could do a few things.
Excellently well.
Okay, so I didn't go to Harvard. I didn't go to any of these, you know, schools that were available then, you know, scantily. Most of people of my generation went to public schools. But we didn't notice the degeneration. With hindsight, I can tell you things were also deteriorating gradually that time. So at a time in this place, you go visit your, you know, older ones, maybe in Ife or UI, and you see the kind of food they were eating.
Back then.
By the time we got to the universities, all those things vanished.
There was no free food.
So it's been deteriorating for a very long time. And if you don't have the holistic, you know, consciousness of how we degenerated, you're always going to be picking, you know, some small things. So we are not a people who expect too much. But unfortunately, that has come to haunt us. Because we should have been expecting everything. Or at least as much as the funds available could afford us. But because, you know, we would just leave them there and then they would take a chunk of what they should spend on us.
All right, Maestro, we have to go on a break now. Where we're back, we'll pick it up from this. Should any responsible parent go to bed when the house is on fire? That is we talking about the National Assembly going on recess. We'll be back.
88.7 FM.
My country people, mama, papa and pikin, make una listen o. Cholera full town o, but make you no fear. Cholera na disease wey you fit prevent with better hygiene practice for your home. Just dey disinfect your floors, clothes and every corner for your yard with hypo bleach. And no forget to dey clean your toilets with hypo toilet cleaner. This way, you go protect your family and stop the spread of cholera.
I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop and is it to stir? Dishes come alive with so much taste. Sonia tomato mix, of course. Sonia tomato mix, yes sir. Sonia tomato mix, stand up pouch.
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand up pouch.
So much enough.
Àtótó arére o gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọkùnrin tó ń tiraka láti dakọni ọkùnrin mẹ́ta nínú ilé tàbí níbikíbi lótìtọ́ ni pé ọkùnrin ogun kan ò sí tí ò bá lè ṣèṣe akọni lọ́dọ̀ olólùfẹ́ ó débẹ̀ herbal mixture ló nílò kó mú dán ìyàkànṣe egbòogi tá a gbé jáde pẹ̀lú ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ewé àti egbò àbáláyé táwọn bàbá wa fi ń gbéra sọ pitú rẹpẹtẹ níjọ́ àná ó débẹ̀ herbal mixture ti gbàgbóró kan gbogbo ayé ló ti ń kó ní wìtìwìtì wọn náà mú kan lónìí kó gbẹlura kára ó le koko bí ọ̀tá wàá sì múnádóko débẹ̀ tàtẹ̀ kanlẹ̀ láti jẹ́ alágbàtà kẹ̀sì kó ní wìtìwìtì ẹ máa pe 091-6620-6959 tàbí 080-7051-7024 ó débẹ̀ herbal mixture ó máa gbé ẹ débẹ̀.
My son, help me check this phone. I no know wetin Junior press. E no dey work again.
Make I see. Ah, mommy.
Wetin happen?
They don block your line now.
Nobody like to chop blocking o. So, if they don block you unto say you no link your NIN to your Airtel line, run kitikiti go any Airtel shop with your NIN to unblock your line today. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
ọmọ mi ti pọ̀ṣù mẹ́fà ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́ oṣù mẹ́fà ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́.
ó ti yẹ pọ̀ṣù mẹ́fà nìyẹn. ọmọ ò máa ń pẹ́ dàgbà o. báyìí o ọmọ rẹ ti wá nílò ju omi ọyàn nìkan lọ o. àkókò ti tó láti máa fún un ní oúnjẹ fífọ́ ní àfikún sí ọyàn. rí i dájú pé àwọn oúnjẹ ọmọ rẹ ní ó kéré tán ọ̀kan lára àwọn oúnjẹ àfọ́pọ̀ márùn-ún wọ̀nyí: ẹyin, ẹja tàbí ẹran, èso àti ewébẹ̀, epo tàbí òróró, ẹ̀wà, ẹ̀pà tàbí sóyà, ìrẹsì, ọ̀dùnkún, àgbàdo tàbí iṣu. ọmọ rẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti oṣù mẹ́fà nílò omi ọyàn àtàwọn oúnjẹ wọ̀nyí fún ìdàgbàsókè àti ìlera. máa fún wọn lọ́yàn títí yóò fi pé ọmọ ọdún méjì àti jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣe ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
You dey find ways to save your data? You go first start out with your apps. Delete apps wey you no dey use but other things go still dey. Some apps get data saver modes, make you activate them to control the data usage. You fit also go your setting make you off the auto updates them. Then make you also close apps wey you no dey use to save your data when you no dey use your apps. This small change go fit help you save your data well. For more information, make you go your mobile operator website or consumer.ncc.gov.ng for better tips. Make we dey connect and enjoy our data use well. This message dey come from the Association of Licensed Telecom Operators wey join body with the Nigerian Communication Commission.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
All right, you're welcome back. We have a group talking to the House of Assembly, the National Assembly, for embarking on recess, criticizing them because now we have the Senate and the House of Rep commencing. They commenced their annual recess on Tuesday to resume September 17th. So what they're saying is, should any responsible parent go to bed while the house is on fire?
Well, there are two ways to look at that. The very obvious one is to say, why should they go on strike at this time when things are really tense? A strike is coming up. You shouldn't go on recess at a time like this. Now that's the most obvious way of looking at it.
Yes.
And that's a very simple one. And anybody can simply look at that. But what I encourage people to do is to always look beyond the surface. That first impression, you can check behind it. And the second way of looking at that, when you look behind that, is to tell yourself that, is it impossible for them to go back to their different constituencies, to start talking to people at their constituencies, perhaps to douse, tension? Is it impossible? I don't think so. Then again, if they go on recess and there is a compelling need for them to come together, are we calling them from the moon? I think if someone could go out, this is ICT age. If someone could go out, the digital age, and they will be there within few hours, everybody will converge. But what I think people might be really, really pained by this, they are going on strike, is you should have been there when we start this thing so we can bombard you there. So that's probably why some people are disappointed that they will not be there.
So, because normally,
so there will be no reason for anybody to go there if they are not there. So it's also strategic, that, okay, let's get out of this place so that when the strike comes, it will not be one of the places that they will need to visit.
Really? Should that be?
Well, that's what they just did. You are still asking if it should be. It is already. So we are now looking at it, whether, the issues around it. And I'm telling you, one of the reasons why they did that was to escape away from any kind of protests being, a target.
For their safety.
Not necessarily for their safety. I don't think any harm will come to them.
Then?
That's one of the most protected places, in Nigeria. So if you get to the gate, the security people will not allow you to come in. We've seen a lot of strikes heading in that direction. You see, most of the time we need to tell one another the truth when we say we are analyzing issues and not get carried away by all these sentiments. You will not be able to wound half House of Representative person. If you go there, you will be prevented from accessing them. The most that could happen is for some of them to come out and address, the people, if it's peaceful. If it's not peaceful, then they would just stay where they are and would not come out. So that is what has happened. But I think if we are looking in the direction of duty, they can always perform their duty. If we're looking in terms of responsibility, then some people might say they are irresponsible, they should have been there. But I don't buy that essentially because it's not real. If they want to do anything, they could summon one another and be doing their jobs.
But the group's this thing is the fact that the protest has assumed the dimension of a national emergency. This is not the time to talk about your own enjoyment of having to go on a recess, to go on vacation.
I don't think they are going on that recess the way they used to go on recess. I just told you that it's a way of getting out of the way of the protest. That's, I think, what they did. And at the end of the day, even if it could have turned violent, then that place will be saved. So you can argue back and forth this way or that concerning, their departure from that place.
All right then. Right about now, we have to open the phone lines for people to join in the conversation and let us know what they think about the topics we've been discussing since we started. For my show, the nation lost Owayao, that is the Ohanese president, at 81.
It's a big loss, though. For people of my generation, I started gaining consciousness of Chief Emmanuel Owayao when I was just, I think I was in secondary school, and he was one of the richest Nigerians of his age. And but what actually caught my attention was his interest in football. He bought the old Spartans of Owerri, which was a major football club in Nigeria then, major, very strong football club. I think it will rank third behind the Rangers and ICC Shooting Stars. I think, it will rank third. I think so, arguably.
We'll have to ask John Udofia.
Yes, Udofia might. Yes.
I'm sure he's probably saying yes or no wherever he is.
Yeah, I'm sure. So he bought, I think he acquired Spartans of Owerri and made it Nwayawu, I think Nwayawu National or FC or something like that. And it went on to do very well. But apart from his passion for football and things like that, he also attempted to be president, at some point, joining major political parties. He was a politician of note. And when he was no longer in competitive politics, what he did was to be one of the key leaders in the eastern region, the east of Nigeria. And I'm sure they will miss him sorely in the southeast, as the rest of us, will miss him in Nigeria at large.
So
we wish him sweet repose.
Exactly. All right, now let's listen to this before we start the conversation and the studio with our listener.
Thank you for your attention. It's been lovely to have you keeping it locked on Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Now is the time to join in the conversation, to have the word, hear your voice, because we are the people's voice. Meanwhile, while you contribute to this program, kindly note that in accordance with broadcasting ethics, you are requested to keep your contributions modest, truthful, concise, and not offensive, inflammatory, or with tendencies to cause discomfort to anyone. Thank you. Now, let the conversation begin.
0704-1001-887. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Samson Akintayo.
Please stay away from your radio set, sir.
Yes, Sam. I work from it.
All right, your contribution.
Thank you. Good morning, Maestro.
Good morning.
Thank you, sir. When I woke up this morning, sir, I was thinking about the deterioration that has met this country. Unfortunately enough, when I tuned into Agidigbo, I met you discussing the same thing about what happened to this country. My father, you, and some other old people told us the stories of the good old days, Maestro. Now, looking at the deterioration, I continue to think about what I would tell my own children about what has happened to this country. Please, Nigeria needs to be rescued. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. 0704-1001-887 or +234-704-700-8873. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Dami calling from Ologun.
All right.
I just want to ask, because I'm really concerned. Should some people, if it is constitutional to protest, and whoever or group or whatever person want to do their protest in Nigeria, should some people be able to restrict them from certain areas, since it is still Nigeria? I mean, I could decide to go anywhere, freedom of movement, and if I'm not, getting into your business or into your path, should you be able to say, don't come to my area, don't come to Abuja or where?
All right.
I need explanation on that.
Okay. Maestro.
All right. That's something that we've been hearing, as we are evolving. Freedom of movement is guaranteed under the Nigerian Constitution. Freedom of association is also guaranteed under the Nigerian Constitution. So ordinarily, everybody should be able to go everywhere, to do anything that they want to do, so long as, it's within the within the cover of law. So that's the simple answer. But we are talking about conflict here. You understand? So now, if you are about 200 saying we want to protest in this place, and you have about maybe 150 or even 100 people saying we don't want it, wouldn't you rather think about it? Because if the two of you clash, some people will get wounded, some people will get, maybe worse will happen. So that's why I'm saying people should really consider that, unless you are fully prepared for conflict. If it is going to be a peaceful protest and it's going to lead to a clash, I think it requires consideration from people who are leading.
All right.
If they are there.
John Duffy has confirmed that you're spot on.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
John. Thank you, John.
Hello, good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. This is an.
Don't worry, Yoruba is coming very soon after this.
What do you want to discuss with us, sir?
Yorùbá ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn ètò yìí. Yorùbá ń bọ̀.
This is an English program. Apologies sincerely. But after this, we'll have a Yoruba program. You can call then, sir. Thank you so much. You can come straight down to Agidigbo FM. If you're not talking about the program or any program at all, this is a studio line. You can just come down to the radio station. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, well done. We're from Ibadan.
Thank you, sir.
You see, nobody can force anybody to protest if you are not willing to. And nobody should be able to be saying people should not protest. That is why I don't like it. The way the government is going about it and their supporters, it's as if they are magnifying the protest. Why the IG will be saying we will not tolerate. The army will say nobody should come out. They will not tolerate. That is it's as if they are.
I would have to stop you right there. The army didn't say anyone shouldn't come out, and nor did the IG of police say something like that.
Happen.
They said you should protest peacefully. Peacefully. Hello, good morning. Hello,
good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning, Mr. Mission.
Good morning.
Thanks for the job, good welcome. Please, I want to ask, because I heard yesterday that our government is on vacation and the power was transmitted to the government.
Yes.
If you are enough to go on this vacation during this critical period when the president is about to start to protest, I can see that our media are very quick to condemn the National Assembly. Why not talk what is happening in the state? Because the protest will come up in respective states. I expect the government to be around to monitor the event and to see how the event can be controlled so that it will not be violent. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
much. All right, let me make a brief statement about that. You see, why I always say we should check beyond the first, impulse. To start with, this program, this so-called protest is happening when? Days from here on.
August 1.
So it's still. What says the governor will not be back before then?
You'll be leaving August 5.
Okay.
And resuming September 7 or 6.
So he's still around. he will witness it before. Yes. And so I don't believe that. I'm the first to say that people should address their states. But some people have a problem. Because some states don't have that kind of problem. So they will not, witness anything. But some states might, but in this instance, I don't think anything is amiss. You'll have somebody who is in charge.
Deputy governor.
And then the governor will still be around before, at least for 5 days. So I don't think we should, at this point, blame the governor.
And we don't even know if the protests will go on for as long as even 5 days in the process.
I saw someone yesterday shouting, all the important people are boarding flights and so on and so forth. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
But Maestro, will things be amiss if the governor of Lagos State says he's going on vacation at the moment?
Why couldn't he? If he's due for one.
Okay.
What's going to happen?
At this time.
There's nothing. I'm telling you, this is an anticlimax. Because, and I'm sad. You see, when I say it's going to be a non-event, it's not because I'm happy about it, because I know the cost. You see, there's a cost we were paying before this gathering storm. We were paying the cost of people who have gone into commercial activism in this country. We were paying for those who have gone into these are looter that will benefit them, that will just bump them up the ladder. So people got disinterested in all this kind of stuff. Before you called anybody, you would have seen about 100. So we're still paying, and now you have this, and if it fizzles out, imagine what would be the consequence.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm coming from the right. ADM is my name.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
The government should be proactive. In the sense that either the pump price is dropped or you open the border for just 6 months and let food come in. This will down the tension. People are seriously angry. I'm not supporting the strike. I'm not supporting the protest. I know it's constitutional right. But at the same time, the government should be proactive. They should find a way to cushion the effect. I'm angry, you are angry. I think somebody's be between to separate. Please. Timely intervention is very important. Nigeria is great, and we don't need to. 2 million Nigerians enter Nigeria, their economy will crash. And some other countries like that. So intervene, please. Please, if they are listening, they should listen very carefully and act immediately. I'm talking from security angle. The awareness is too open, it's too broadening.
Right.
The population of those who are happy is maybe 2 or 3% compared to 90% of other angry people.
Okay.
The truth.
Well understood.
The truth is that we shouldn't. I understand how he's putting it, but when you go statistical, it becomes false.
He says it
because you did not take the statistics. How did you know that it's 3% to 90?
Hello, good morning.
97?
Hello, good morning. I speak my brother, Yashif. That's speaking with the You see, the faith and anguish of the man is day by day because of prices of goods and services, particularly food and drug, continues to increase. So the government is not doing the needful. People are not going to farm. So the cost of food will continue to increase because of insecurity. Government should do the essence of the protest. It's not for any other thing, but for government to review its policies that are having devastating effect on the masses. The protest should not be to destroy government property or to deny people access to their businesses. You see, so we should exercise caution. The security agencies should please be admonished to exercise caution and ensure that the peaceful protest is allowed to be peaceful. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. 0704 1001 887 or +234 704 700 8873. Maestro, I'd like us to touch up on a topic that is quite sensitive. That is where we are talking about religion. It's been on social media, and I think it is in the newspaper today. I think Nancy Sime, she released pictures of movie coming, movie she'll be in, and she used she was dressed in a particular way. She alongside I think 2 other people, dressed in a particular way that raised the attention of Muslims, saying this is not acceptable. What did they wear? They were putting on niqab. You know, the hijab is, yes, it is.
I know a few things.
So just trying to explain to people. All right. Niqab is that clothing where they cover their face and cover the entire body, and they were holding guns. So apparently they were on set. So now that has raised quite a lot of attention on social media, and it is in the paper today now, as we have, I think, Murik saying they should be banned from doing things, religious outfits or things like that. They should be banned from using them.
You know, ordinarily when I hear Murik, I don't want to talk about it at all, ordinarily. But this is beyond Murik, so I'm going to bend my rule for once and talk about it. You see, sometimes we're just too insensitive. We're in a nation where you have different types of religion. And we need to be able to respect one another. See, if you do this kind of stuff in America, in Europe, and so on, it wouldn't count. It won't matter to them. But it's not the same thing in our country, where you know that people are going to feel offended. You know, your brothers, your sisters are going to feel offended. Even if you don't consider them your brothers and sisters, your co-citizens will feel offended if you did that kind of thing. Then why would you do it? Some people do it out of ignorance, absent-mindedness. And if you call their attention that, see, you have to go and redo this thing, they will promptly go and do it because they will go, I didn't know. That is still manageable. It is pardonable. But there are some people who would do it for profit, for business, because it is going to gain this kind of attention. It will gain this kind of notoriety.
The clout.
And then the number of people who could have walked by the movie will now be compelled to say what's going on there. They do it for that, and it's very, very wrong. That's the one that is unpardonable. So you're deliberately ruffling, feathers in the wrong direction because of your own benefit. I'm not saying that's why Nancy Sime did it. I'm just telling you the reasons why people do these things. And some people would do it just to confront, which is the worst part of it. So I don't know the category she falls into in these three scenarios, but what I think should happen is that she should withdraw that thing and then redo in a way that people's sensibilities will not be offended.
All right, then. Let's go pay some bills now. When we're back, we'll touch up on this last story coming from the Nigerian Union of Teachers, saying teachers' salaries are better paid by state.
And I didn't say all that because you're covering up to.
And I didn't try to say too much because I'm covering. Yes, that's why I say it is quite a sensitive topic.
So we have to,
exactly.
It's give and take.
Yeah, so that is coming after local government autonomy. NUT is saying teacher salaries are better paid by state. So what is going on? We'll be back.
88.7 FM.
Babies are God's gifts to parents, and breast milk is God's gift to babies. It contains all the important nutrients and minerals your baby needs, including water, for the first 6 months. Give your baby breast milk only. Remember, breast milk only for the first 6 months. This message is from the Anrin Project, Oyo State Ministry of Health.
ìrìn àjò lọ sílẹ̀ mímọ́ mẹ́kà ò kéré ní jẹ́ gbogbo ẹni tó bá fẹ́ lọ wá ilé iṣẹ́ gidi tí ò ní kó wọn sí wàhálà tí ò ní dé mọ́kà tán kí wọ́n da nílẹ̀ láì bìkítà àti ṣiṣẹ́ tó bá lọ. gbogbo ẹni tó bá wá ń gbìyànjú àti lọ sílẹ̀ mímọ́ mẹ́kà fún umra October sí November tó ń bọ̀ yìí. ajé ní ènìyàn lè ṣe kan Masha Allah ajá umra service ní kẹ́ ẹ bá lọ. sísanwó wọn ò gúnpá ilégbè wọn ní mọ́kà ìrọ̀rùn ló bá dé. gbogbo ẹni tó bá bá wọn lọ gbogbo ètò ló sì ti tò láì sí wàhálà. gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ nífẹ̀ẹ́ àti bá wọn rìnrìn àjò umra umura October sí November tó ń bọ̀ yìí àrà ọ̀tọ̀ ni umura yìí jẹ́ o pẹ̀lú àkànṣe àdúrà tí iléeṣẹ́ Mashallah ajẹ́ umura ṣàgbékalẹ̀ rẹ̀ tí gbogbo ẹni tí wọ́n bá jọ lóòjọ́ sí képo lóhùn pẹ̀lú ìgbàgbọ́ pé àdúrà mi ó gbà ìyẹn ní umura fún gbogbo ẹni tó bá fẹ́ bá wọn lọ. ẹ lè kàn sí wọn ní shop B3 Alaka junction ayégun ọ̀lẹ́yọ̀ road ní garage Ìbàdàn tàbí ká ẹ pè sórí nọ́mbà yìí 07037417353 tàbí 07064274181. Masha Allah iléeṣẹ́ alálàájì rọrùn.
Big mommy, add that bokoto wey go senior school, put 2 roundabout, anoint the package with that slim thick shaki and
Uncle, no vex o. Which teeth you wan use eat all this orishi? That your teeth wey be like where motor jam truck, e no dey worry you again.
That one na before. All thanks to the new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection.
That's right. The new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste gives you complete oral protection with fluoride and antibacterial zinc to keep your teeth strong, prevent tooth holes, and fight bacteria.
Please have to go buy my own new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste.
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection for your important oral care needs. Available in a blue gel.
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your State Ministry of Health.
Fellow Nigerians, mummies, daddies, and children, please listen. It's no longer news that there's cholera outbreak, but don't worry. Cholera is highly preventable with good hygiene practice in the home. Ensure you disinfect your floors, clothes, and surfaces with hypo bleach. And always remember to care for your toilets with hypo toilet cleaner. This way, you'll protect your family and stop the spread of cholera.
Láti dènà àrùn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru àti àrùn mìíràn pàápàá nínú àwọn ọmọdé, fọ ọwọ́ rẹ pẹ̀lú ọṣẹ àtomi tó ń dà ṣooro. Ní pàtàkì jùlọ tó o bá lo ilé ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ tán lẹ́yìn tó bá ti ṣàǹdí fọ́mọ tán kó o tó ṣoúnjẹ ọmọ rẹ tàbí kó o tó fún un lóúnjẹ. Àti pé o tí ọmọ rẹ bá ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru fún un ní oògùn oníwóró zinc lẹ́ẹ̀kan lójúmọ́ àti ORS ní wákàtí mẹ́rin tàbí kí ẹ máa fún díẹ̀díẹ̀ nínú ife. Èyí á jẹ́ kọ́mọ rẹ lè ní ìdápadà omi ara àtokun. Bákan náà, yọjú sílé iṣẹ́ ètò ìlera tó bá súnmọ́ ọ jùlọ láti gba ìtọ́jú fọ́mọ tó ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣe iṣẹ́ ANRIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Akidigbo 88.7.
All right, 0704-1001-887 or +234-704-708-873. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, this is Damien.
All right, sir, your contribution.
Yes, just to quickly, my opinion about the last story you brought, the movie that is about to be produced. I think should we not wait to see the content first before we start casting aspersion, because that is just a picture. That is one. Then the second thing is, yes, we have to be careful, but can we begin to see the work of art as what it is and not necessarily any kind of serious religious upsetting?
All right. Let's quickly attend to no. You see, because he's seeing it from a particular dimension, far from our reality. The truth,
the reality of Nigeria,
of our reality is that this. You cannot ignore the cover and say let's go inside the content.
And we're not talking about the movie yet.
The cover
picture
immediately is offensive. That you have people who are wearing the powder and they are bearing firearms. Immediately, people would generate different impressions. And I said at the beginning of my response to that question, we might get to that in the future. If it happened in Europe, nobody will worry. But I even want to tell you that as elitist as we might pretend to be, when Salman Rushdie wrote satanic verses, you know what happened in this world. You know, and he had to go into hiding, and we never heard from him again because a fatwa was pronounced on him. Now, this is not about even whether it is right or wrong. This is about the reality. What is wrong with doing it in a different way if you understood that you are going to offend millions of Nigerians who are Muslims?
All right, 0704-1001-887 or +234-704-700-8873. Maestro, we have the TUC saying that the payment of their salaries, anything concerning education, is better left with state government and not the local government. After local government got their financial autonomy.
You know, I told you about this transition period. There is going to be transition period, which was why I did not totally support those who were castigating Governor Seyi Makinde that time for setting up a committee. You know, whatever else he said about it is another matter, but that committee is now going to sit down and supervise the transition and see how suitable they could make it, you know, for Oyo State. So this kind of stuff would come up on the list. When they start ticking, it's going to come up on the list that, okay, how do we treat this one? How do we treat that one? And those that they could achieve, I guess, within the law would be done. While those that are difficult will have to again be, maybe there will be, the solutions will be coming from litigation or legislation as the cases might turn out.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
Yeah, I'm Gregory. I'm calling from Odife Road.
Quickly, sir, your contribution.
Yeah, please, my own view is a different view entirely. This country, if you look at it, I don't think we need protesting. We need to protest. I don't think we need that protesting. Protest is good, but the point is that our government, they don't listen to it. Protest has never changed anything. It has never brought anything new in Nigeria before. But what we need is to look into what is happening. The neighbor, if they know what to do, they can solve a problem. The prices of goods, the prices of food, very expensive. Oil expensive, fuel. But neighbor, instead of them asking for salary, they should go ahead and tell the government they are not going to work until the fuel is changed to it. The rice is changing to 10,000, the base, the freight, and everything. The price comes down, they are not going to work. That's supposed to be the neighbor. If neighbor to do that, government takes to do something.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your contribution, sir.
Labor can't just,
deal with the prices in the market.
No way.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. We shall meet next week, Monday, again, to talk about our great nation.
And I want to tell everybody listening, join me on Igbesi
join us
on Sunday 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the evening on Agidigbo 88.7 FM.
Yes, because now we have to reiterate it every now and then. Where are you, sir? Where are you, sir? Yeah, all right then. So do well to join us. My name is Buraola Yusuf, and I'll see you on Monday. Have a nice weekend.
88.7 FM.